Hey everyone, this is Darkspidey 34, and I'm going to have a quick update sort of thing. I'm going to talk about a combination of things. Because there's been a lot of news and comic movies are going to come out in 2012. And I want to kind of talk about the show. And I don't know if this is going to be long or not, but we'll see. If you guys just stick through this with me, that'd be great. Number one, I'm going to talk about the show. I'm going to take a small break. I want to make this one. I'm thinking about making this video. I don't know if I will or will not be. But the show's still going on. All right. I just bought a bunch of clay for um, for the next episode because I'm gonna need a lot of black clay. And the kind that I had really wasn't. Um, it was clay, but it was gray clay, so I had to marker in with not even a sharpie, but with like a Crayola marker and just sort of dab it on there and have it and try to make it soak in into the clay. And I had to adjust the final product of the video to make it look darker. It actually is just dark gray. So it was very, very messy. But it's very, very, it's sort of, I don't want to say it's hard clay, but it's harder than the fresh clay. Because I just got this clay and it's like it's very, I don't want to say moist. I don't know how to describe it. It's fresh clay, so it's more easy to mold and mush. It's softer, but I need it to be a little bit harder because I want to have to do with this long kind of tentacle things, and I'm gonna need to find like this like metal wiring that you get out of that's covered in plastic that you get out of action figures that tie them into the plastic molding of the package. And I don't know what I did with those. I had a bunch of them. I don't know where they are. I guess I just threw them away. But I'm just if I ever find them, I'm gonna just mold them around the metal wire plastic thingies. So with that um, update in the episode 27, you guys should be well aware that I am working on it. Um, Now I want to make a more serious film. Or not film. It's just a short film. It's probably going to be around 8 minutes. I told my friend Sam about it, who does the voice of Eddie Brock, and he says it's a really good idea. He says it's actually good enough that I should actually make it into like a real um, short story with real people, and that would take a lot of time. But I just want to see if I can actually make it happen, and it's going to be kind of poetic. It kind of gives you a little peek into how my mind works, and I literally was just standing there in a supermarket thinking this when it came to me. This idea that came to me here. I don't know if it's been done before. I'm going to say it right now on this blog, vlog, video, podcast thing or whatever. I do not know if this idea has been done before in a poem or in a movie, but I'm going to do it anyway before anyone else does. And I felt the same way when I made that Captain America video, that Lego Captain America video I made. Um, I looked up Captain America parodies on YouTube, and I didn't find any video like the one I had in my head. The funny thing about the Captain America video, it just started out as a conversation between friends, like, "Oh, what if that happened?" When I actually saw the movie, the bullets just sort of were crushed against the vibranium shield. That's it for updates about the show and what I'm gonna do. Um, so I'm gonna move on to movies real quick. I want to say recent, like the last, in, oh God, what was it? It was definitely later July, I think. I don't remember. When I saw Captain America with my friends, and they all liked it. I, however, it wasn't as I didn't think it was as good as everyone else was saying. It didn't pull me in like X Men did or Thor did. But hey, here's how I see it. If a lot of people liked it, if it's good in a lot of people's eyes, and you didn't like it, it's still good because that's good for the franchise. And a lot of people don't understand that. Now, what I'm about to go through will be just how I feel about people's perception of movies nowadays. Well, comic book movies nowadays. People feel that it's better to be right about whether a movie is good or not than whether wanting what's right for the franchise itself. Now, I said this in the Spider-Man reboot podcast vlog thing that you have to want what's best for the franchise, and what's best for the franchise is not you. It's not about you being right about whether or not they should have made a reboot. It's about rooting for this movie to be good because that's good for the franchise. And what people are threatened by in this reboot, as I've seen a lot comments. I can't talk today. Comments section of the trailer on YouTube is like, this is already better than the first three Spider-Man movies. These first Spider-Man movies are crap. And they go on insulting Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire and all of what the trilogy has done. I mean, the trilogy is done. It's brought Spider-Man into a more public light that allow people to like the character. And yes, the trilogies definitely have flaws, but they also have a lot of good things in them. And what the mantle that Sam Raimi took, he had to make all the good things. He had to do all the things right first, and he had to make all the mistakes first. And you cannot blame him for making the mistakes first, because that's just what happens when you are first. And that train scene in Spider-Man 2 is still just. I mean, I have not seen that in a superhero movie. It's just one of those scenes, you know. It's one of those scenes you see in movies that really defines it, you know. And to this day, I still love Spider-Man 2. I have mixed feelings about Spider-Man 3, and it's okay because I knew what went into making that movie good. I knew what went into that movie to make it bad. Now back onto the Spider-Man reboot. It's giving people's license and justification to hate the original trilogy, which is fine. If they didn't, if there's something to latch on for them to latch on to in the original trilogy, there probably is going to be something for them to latch on in this reboot. Now, what they don't understand is they think these trilogies were bad for the series. Some do, some don't. Actually, I'm sorry, but it's all about proving a point in these comments section. It's all about being right and not wanting what's right, not wanting what's best for this franchise. What's best for this franchise, because it's out of my control, is for this new movie to be good. Whether it be Spider-Man 4 or whether it be reboot, they have to be. You have to root for these movies to be good. Since the reboot happened, you have to root for the reboot, root for the reboot to be good. Now, I think it's very just suspicious how we keep getting reboots after reboots after reboots, and so soon. But this situation was very unique in a way that I guess a reboot is okay. Good. The Superman reboot. Um, they just released like a picture of him doing something, and it looks good. I don't have it with me right now, but you're just gonna have to look it up. Let me see what else. What are people not liking about? Christopher Nolan and his partner in crime, Oh God, her last name was just in my. I'm sorry. What is her name? I'm gonna tab out for a second. Emma Thomas. Emma Thomas. I believe they're both producing this new Superman. So a thought that came into my mind is this in the same world as the Nolan verse, or is it separate? Because if Christopher Nolan's working on it, he's gonna make sure that it's good. If not, he's gonna step in heavy on this movie, and I really hope he does. Because I think Zack Snyder, who was directing the film, is a very visual director, very good visual director. Not always the best director, but the best visual director. But one movie he directed recently was that owl movie. I forgot the name, but the movie is just absolutely. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The CGI is right up there with Pixar, in my opinion. I told you this is going to be a long one, guys. Stick through. I'm trying to make this as entertaining as possible. Um, so I just don't like the idea of Toy Story 4. I don't like the idea of rebooting Toy Story. What else? What else? What else? What else? I guess I'll get on my nostalgia. My nostalgia kind of ties in with what I was talking about with the Spider-Man reboot. So I'm gonna go back to that right now. Now, how some people feel about Christopher Nolan's Batman is how some people are feeling about Mark Webb's Spider-Man, because they grew up watching the Spider-Man movies, they grew up watching these Batman movies, and these newer versions of the movies are giving people more license and justice. Those two mean the same thing. More, it gives them a reason to criticize these films. Sometimes in a very harsh way, sometimes in a very, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's definitely fair. That's a fair criticism of these movies. But the movies haven't even come out yet. It hasn't even come out yet. So it's kind of stupid to say, oh, this movie's already looks better than it. That's just it. It looks better. Does that mean it is better? Not necessarily. It's like people just cannot wait to watch the movies. They're just going to make a prediction, and they're going to stick to it, regardless if not they think they're wrong deep down inside. Now, I am sort of feeling that sort of anger towards this movie, and it's not really coming from this movie. It's how people are responding to this reboot, which makes me upset. I mean, yeah, they can point out criticisms in the first three Spider-Man movies, but some of them are just like, are you kidding me? That's what made this film. That made that film amazing, and and that's how some people are feeling towards these new Batman movies. You know, it gives people the reason to insult these movies, the Tim Burton Batmans. And well, what about the Joel Schumacher Batman movies? What about those? Huh? It's part of the same continuity, part of the same world. You cannot just forget about that, even though it led to that. But hey, Burton's Batman also led to the animated series. Okay, one last thing on nostalgia. It kind of blurs your vision of what happened in the past. It's not really these movies and TV shows that we grew up watching as children. It's just the time in which we lived in that we want to go back. We want to go back to a simpler time before the cruel, harsh realities of the world desensitized us, and things just seem kind of crappier now. We want to go back to when we were kids. I want to go back to when I was 3 years old, jumping around playing Power Rangers. I want to go back to when I was 3 years old when I was playing on Windows 95. I want to go back to watching all those old cartoons I used to watch. Everyone else wants to. When we rewatch those old cartoons, it brings up these great feelings and yearning for the past. But sometimes when I watch my old cartoons I used to watch, I go, "Wow, this is a piece of crap. I can't believe I used to like this." The first time I've done that was one of the first times I realized that was the first time I rewatched Batman and Robin. After I realized all the bad criticisms of it, and I rewatch it again when I'm much older than 3 years old. I'm like, wow, this is a piece of crap. And I do that to other things I watch, but I do still get those feelings, even though I can see that this old cartoon I used to watch sucks. Or, wow, that's a little stupid, but I can see why I liked it, because I was a kid. In kid shows now, we go, wow, that sucks. Because, well, we're not kids anymore. We don't have any sort of attachment to these newer shows. But there are cartoon shows nowadays that are good. So those are rare cartoons. Rare when even adults can watch them, or older, or teenagers can watch them and get a laugh out of them. You know, even adults can laugh at them. Or enjoy them. There's those rare universal cartoons that anyone can watch. Most cartoons nowadays just sort of pander to that demographic of young kids. They don't try to reach out and try to make people from other ages like it. Very rarely do they do. Some cartoons that people are wildly in love with and praise about it all the time and complain about how all these new cartoons suck. I don't see the I don't see what's so great about these cartoons. Some of these older ones. I'm not gonna name any of them, but some of them are just like, wow, this is so much. How is this superior than, for instance, the movie version of this? How is this superior to uh, newer cartoons of the same genre, or the same kind of feel? I'm bringing up just one example that's very popular. It's a lot of people complain about it on the internet. Um, Michael Bay's Transformers. I personally only like the first one, and only I find enjoyment in it. All right, it has its flaws, yes, but I still enjoy it to this day. The first Transformer movie I ever saw was Transformers the movie, the one that came out in 1986. I got it on tape mistakenly because I asked my mom to get Transformers Armada on VHS. Some of the episodes on a volume. I was like 8 or 9 years old, and instead she got Transformers the movie that came out in 1986, and I'm like, wow, it's just so much cooler. And I'm just going to point that out because I do have a connection to the older Transformers series. I have a connection to Beast Wars as well and Beast Machines. But when I watched the old Transformers cartoon, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is kind of cool. But I basically, no one at the time on YouTube, this is around 2006, no one uploaded full episodes of Transformers. Just the opening credits from like RetroJunk.com. I used to rewatch it over and over again, and now every time, only when I like listen to the theme song of the Transformers cartoon, I get some kind of weird feeling, because that's all I would do in the summer of 2006. And they announced the movie was going to come out next year, and I got so pumped. Um, People complained about it, but also people liked it. And up to this day, people are still complaining about this Michael Bay trilogy. Now, I can see where they're coming at, but they say it's better than the cartoon. I see the cartoon being corny, almost a lot cornier than the current Transformers. The effects, let's not go there, alright? It's pretty obvious who is superior. Um, Plot holes, yeah. I mean, in terms of which is more real. Michael Bay's is more grounded in reality than the cartoon show. What people aren't saying a lot is they want to see more from this cartoon. They want to see something deeper than this cartoon. And Michael Bay's Transformers doesn't really go deeper than the cartoon. You know, it's pretty to look at, but it gets annoying after a while, like a hot chick. You know. So that's basically all I wanted to say for this update, and just how I'm how I'm seeing things. Okay, this is just my opinion, because an opinion is a magical thing that no one can touch. And soon someone states, "Hey, this is my opinion." It's like a magical force field that you cannot penetrate, even though that's kind of bullcrap, because someone's opinions aren't always treated as fact. It's just their opinion, and you should treat your opinion like a fact and have something to back up why you feel that way. And not a lot of people do that. They just say a bunch of crap and say, "Whoa, you can't say that. That's my opinion. I have the right to state my opinion." So I could be wrong. You know, opinions are always protected, and sometimes people's opinions. We all go through this. We see someone's opinion and we go, "That's just stupid." But it's that guy's opinion, so whatever. Let him say whatever he wants. We live in a country where people can say a bunch of crazy crap. It doesn't even it doesn't matter because they can't say that. But there's nothing we can do to stop them. You can be a racist. You can say a bunch of racist crap on the internet. We have the right to say, "Hey, we don't agree with you," but we can't stop him from saying it unless it hurts someone. Some of these racist people on YouTube, they're such. I don't want to say the P word, but they are wimps. All right, they say they kill. They haven't killed. They couldn't kill. They couldn't kill. I'm sorry. Just recently, like a week ago, I saw this racist girls channel. Yes, apparently women can be racist. No offense to any women watching this, because I know you girls can't get enough of the Darkspidey. Uh, you can't get enough of me, Darkspidey 34, because I'm just so much of man that you can't resist. Okay, enough of that. But she said she would like to kill people who are different than her. I'm like, you couldn't kill. These people can't kill. I will be making a funny video about that whole sort of theme with the two characters, Jake and Dan. It sounded like I said Dane in the 2012 video, but it's really Dan. This is a really long update. I really hope you guys stuck with me through this. Anyway, just wanted to say that last thing about racist people on the internet. They can't kill. They're too much of wimps. They're all talk, and I really hope it stays that way. Okay, guys, that's all for now. Sorry this video is so long. I really hope you stuck through it, as I said before, and I really hope you understood what I said. And I'd like to know what you think about the stuff I talked about, and whether I'm talking out of my ass or not. That's also helpful, you guys. You guys always kind of correct me if I'm just wrong. So, thanks for listening. That's all for now. Laters.